So one of the main questions that a lot of people have when it comes to this option, because you have a choice to make as to when you start, is should I take CPP early or delay it? Like, what would be the contributing factors in helping you make that decision? So let's look at the first, some of the reasons that you would consider taking the CPP at age 60. Life expectancy. If for some reason you are going to have a shortened life expectancy, that could be due to health reasons. It could be if you are 100 pounds overweight and you smoke and drink, well, you probably will have a shortened life expectancy. So in those cases, you may want to consider taking it early. If you don't have longevity in your genes in your family, you might think, well, my life expectancy is going to be shortened, so I'd rather get started early and get as much from it as I can, because which leads us to a second point. CPP has no estate value. So even though you've contributed to this plan your entire life, if you start collecting at age 60 and die at 61, nobody else gets any of the CPP unless you have a legal spouse. They would be entitled to some of that CPP that you've put into it. But if you're single, there is no estate value. Nobody gets any part of it. Another reason to take it early is if you need the money to live. I mean, if you've been downsized because of the economy over the last few years, and now you are maybe working a part-time job and not making as much money as you used to years ago, well, then if you need the money to live on, definitely this is a source of income that you need to consider. If you have a larger RSP, you may want to consider taking your CPP now and in conjunction with taking out money from your RSP, and between the two you could probably come up with enough retirement income to sustain your lifestyle. Qualifying for GIS is another consideration. If you are on the lower income side, then you could potentially qualify for GIS, which is the Guaranteed Income Supplement, and we'll discuss this in a future lesson, so be sure to tune in for that one. That's another consideration, whether or not you should take CPP earlier. Time value of money. Obviously, a dollar today is more valuable to you than a dollar maybe 10 or 15 or 20 years down the road. So, I mean, normally you take what you can get today rather than always defer everything into the future. So money that you can have today to spend and enjoy is worth more than a promise of a dollar tomorrow. And also, if you have money to enjoy life today while you have the health and strength to do it, you may want to consider that. If you already have 39 years of maximum contributions, then every additional year you work and keep contributing to CPP is not increasing what you're going to receive. So those contributions, in a sense, can be for naught. You are no longer working. That's another reason to consider taking your CPP. If you're not adding any more to it, then you might as well consider taking it. And then thirdly is looking at the break-even points. That's I think an important piece to understand, determining when you should start taking CPP.